Okay, now it's time to go ahead and attaching the arms. So I'm going to flip over the chassis, get the arm, and there's just these little pins that have just no thread to them. You just slide them in and that's it. Go and move that into place, and there's one. Then another one goes through the front. And now, until we can get the right pieces in there, these are just going to be really loose, so I have to be very careful that none of them fall out, which is, in my opinion, a pretty bad design, but it works in the end. So now it's time to flip it over and do the top ones. And it's the same process for the rear as it is for the front. But for the top ones, it is a little bit different because you get one long pin instead of two short ones. But yeah, it just slides in right through the front and goes all the way to the back. Okay, both sides are done, and now we can go ahead and move on to the axle carriers. So here I have the front right. What I'm going to be doing is putting a big bearing in the back, followed by a small bearing in the front. Make sure those push down all the way. I'm going to get the top part of the drive shaft, slide that through, get one of these small little pins, slide it through the hole of the drive shaft, or at least try to. There we go. Then get the wheel hex hub. It has a little groove for that bar, and then I'm going to snap it down, just like that. Now the same thing for the other side. Alright, now there's one step that I wasn't able to show you, and that's how to install the pivot balls. Basically, they get fed through the top and this little cap snaps in there. Then at this point you can see there is a place for an Allen wrench to fit in there so you can screw these into the arms. And that is going to be the next step. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the drive shafts together and insert the pivot ball into the top of the arm. Straighten it all out and screw it in a little bit, get it started. Then I'm going to move on to the base. Then I'm just going to cycle back and forth until this has been screwed down all the way. Alright, and now it's time to do the same exact thing to the other side. Alright, now that that's taken care of, I'm going to get the turnbuckle and attach it to the axle carrier using a screw right through the top. And now it's time for the same thing on the other side. Okay, now we're going to flip it back upside down and we're going to seal this all up with the front skid plate, which slides right over the top. And as you can see, there's these small little grooves that are going to cover up these little bars and are going to keep those bars from sliding out. That goes down for here and one over the servo saver. Alright, we're almost done with the front. Now it's time to go ahead and hook up the push rods. So the top of the push rod is going to hook up to the rocker. Just like that, and then the bottom of the push rod is going to hook up to the arm right here. And it's the same thing for the other side. Okay, and now we can finally go ahead and hook up the shocks to the rockers. Obviously, you just go ahead and slide it into place, put a screw through the top, and screw it down. There's one, and now for the other. And we are done with the front arms. And as you can see, the shocks work perfectly fine. The last thing I'm going to do for the front is install the front body mount. Now these two little arms right here are going to slide into those two grooves. These two grooves are going to cover up these two pins and keep them from falling out. So I'm just going to slide that in, and then through the top you can see it is held in with 3 screws. One here, here, and one on top. Alright, and the front is done. Now, this is where the front bumper would go, but I thought it would just be a waste of money. So when I have Jester built, I am going to get the RPM front bumper. As you can see, everything works perfectly fine. However, that is all that I'm going to be doing for this video.